I want to kind of give you an update on PFAS. I know that we hear about this on a daily basis these days. It's all over the news, forever chemicals, every regulatory agency in the world is trying to enact some kind of PFAS regulation. So what's going on here? Well, first of all, what is PFAS? Pearl and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Basically, if you want to know what the definition of PFAS is, you're going to have to finally decide whose definition you want to use, right? So if you look at OECD's definition and the definition by the US state of Maine, both issued in July 2021, they're not exactly the same. So there's substances that might be captured by the Maine definition that are not captured by the OECD definition. So there is no kind of standard, oh, this is a PFAS in this. It all depends because PFAS is not a specific chemical or mixture, but rather it's a class of chemicals. Chemicals with fluorinated carbon atoms, right? So there's different variances of that and they present different levels of risk. And so the industry is having a really hard time getting around this. And the reason they're called forever chemicals is because these substances break down very slowly. They accumulate in the environment, they accumulate in humans, they're being detected in newborn babies, they're in our drinking water. And so really trying to find out how this is getting into our environment and eliminating that risk, right? Now, there is no master list of PFAS to reference. OECD has come up with a list of over 4,700 PFAS chemicals that are known to them. The EPA master list has over 12,000 PFAS chemicals on it, and they don't match exactly, obviously. So, just simply saying, here's a list of PFAS, tell me if I have them or not, is not so easy to do. So this has been a challenge for industry to start to address, right? The other thing that makes this challenging for industry is that, there's, like I said, regulatory agencies, research agencies, international groups, there's industry associations, IPC, IEC, OECD, ECA, EPA, all working on this. They're all doing research on this. They're all studying the risks and trying to qualify and quantify those risks. However, they're all taking a different view and different approaches. Some organizations are looking at this from a single substance basis, like we see with POPs, PFAS, PFOA added to POPs. We just had another PFAS substances that was added to the SVHC list. So one by one, PFAS substances are being added to different regulations, and we're meeting those requirements today, right? We're already complying with certain PFAS restrictions today, right? Then there's the analysis that's happening at the group level. So for example, non-polymeric PFAS may be deemed to have a higher risk than polymeric ones because polymeric PFAS has a PFAS encapsulated into the actual polymer. So maybe we should be focusing on the high-risk substances first. So let's look at regulating the non-polymeric PFAS. Then there's the approach that other groups are taking where, hey, we just need to look at PFAS as scary and let's just eliminate it all. And then we'll approve the ones we think are acceptable for use on a one-by-one basis. And we see that as a proposal coming from the EU. We see that Maine is taking that approach. So there's different approaches going on throughout the world on how to address PFAS, and it's making it very difficult for industry to take an approach and move forward with validation. So when we look at what's facing electronics manufacturers today, when it comes to PFAS, there is no PFAS rose. There is no specific regulation that's directed directly at electronic products, at us as an electronic industry, saying these are the PFAS that you guys are using, these are the ones you should remove. We don't have that kind of luxury of having that kind of regulation provided to us, right? Current restrictions, as I mentioned before, are mostly for electronics producers are being faced on a substance by substance basis. Various PFAS compounds have been restricted by REACH, by POPs, by Prop 65, et cetera. Right. And so we're addressing those and we're complying with those. Right. But when we look at the new recent legislative activity, things that's ongoing, new regulations coming at us that have come at us in 2022, we're seeing that focus to be mostly on highest risk items like drinking water, firefighting foams, toys, food contact products, textiles, rugs, carpets, and cosmetics, not necessarily electronic products, which are not viewed as the highest risk or the low-hanging fruit at this point, right? So that's good for us in the point of view. But there are a couple of proposals, or there is a single proposal, I should say, in the EU to restrict all PFAS and all products which would incorporate electrical equipment. And Maine has already enacted reporting requirements for PFAS that includes electronic equipment. So even though, most of these regulations we're not too concerned about, those ones we are.
Learn more by viewing the full-length video online at greensofttech.com/videos. Plus, learn about our environmental regulation solutions online at greensofttech.com.